What is good, everybody? This is your guy Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. So today we're gonna talk Commanders, plenty to talk about. Run the intro, and we're gonna get this thing on and popping. Y'all know how we do it. All right, man. It's been a minute since I've been on. I'm gonna be coming more consistently, especially once football season starts. This is fantasy season for me right now. I'm in multiple fantasy drafts, but let's talk a little bit about the Commanders and what's going on with the wide receiver room. Terry McLaurin got the turf toe. They're not classifying what the injury is, but we all know that it's a turf toe. Man, we got Dave in the building. Dave says, "What's good, Manny? How you been?" I've been great, man. I'm excited for football season. I'm excited for this Commanders offense. It's going to be bananas this season. Now, first things first. So Terry's injury, right? We don't know how long he's going to be out. We don't know potentially what's going on or what's going to happen, right? But even if Terry is out, I am so confident in Jahan Dotson. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Jahan Dotson. The guy is the real deal. The guy is as legit as they come. And I'm telling you guys, Jahan Dotson, he's in that next realm of guys that could break out into superstar status. And if that happens, that's literally like having two Terry McLaurins. Now, granted, they play two different styles. There are some things that Jahan Dotson can do that Terry doesn't do. Jahan Dotson is a great route runner. So is Terry. They both have great hands. They both go up and get the ball. But there's just something that Jahan Dotson has that Terry doesn't have. I don't know what it is, but both are fantastic wide receivers. In about 3 years, when Jahan Dotson is well into his career, especially getting that fifth-year option and all that good stuff, and he's now the leader or the captain of this team, Terry will be much of the older guy around this time. And who knows, maybe Terry sticks around, but what Terry has already done for the Commanders, since I've been a fan since 1999, Terry McLaurin has been one of the best wide receivers on the team. Now, Santana Moss did some marvelous things for the Commanders, but Terry is right there. I would put Terry McLaurin over Santana Moss. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Do you guys feel the same? Think about it. What Terry has done, right? Multiple years of 1,000-yard seasons. He's played with a gazillion quarterbacks, right? He's never had that stability at QB. Yes, Santana Moss played with several different QBs as well, but I would put Terry over Santana Moss right now, right? Then you look at guys like Pierre Garçon, who had 1 year and another solid year. You've had guys like Jamison Crowder, 2 or 3 solid years. Deshaun Jackson, 2 or 3 solid years. Oh, man, I got everybody in the chat, man. I got my guy, Chef Dre, in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Dave says, I don't like it, but I can completely agree. I know it's almost crazy to say because Santana Moss is one of the best receivers in Redskins history, at least for me, since 1999. I'm going to go from 1999 till now. I didn't watch the Commanders prior to that. So from 1999 to 2023, you got to rank Santana Moss up there. It's almost like Terry is not quite there yet in the impact that Santana Moss has had for the Commanders, right? So it's kind of like one of them things. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I'll offend some fans, but man, Terry's legit, but Santana Moss was more than just numbers. Like the guy was special. The guy had game winners and things of that nature. So hopefully Terry can get to that with Sam Howell. Chef Dre says, am I going to the game? I wish, man. I wish I can go to the game. Probably not. Family things going on, so but I'm definitely trying to get to FedEx. Man, it would have been lovely to be there week 1. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It would have been amazing to get there week 1, but seems like I'm not gonna be able to do that just yet. But yeah, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Sam Howell so far. Sam Howell, man, he I don't want to say that he's the next best thing or he's the franchise quarterback, but I will say this. Sam Howell has the potential to be the next franchise quarterback. Now, you look at it and say, oh, he's a 5th rounder and this and that. Derek Carr was a 2nd rounder. Russell Wilson was a 3rd or 4th rounder. Dak Prescott was a 4th rounder. Kirk Cousins was a 4th rounder. So you can find these guys in later rounds. Brock Purdy, last year, right? He was a 7th rounder, and he literally took this team to the playoffs, and they possibly could have won the Super Bowl had he been healthy. So I don't want to hear all this talk and gibberish about Sam Howell was a 5th rounder. I mean, he was almost a 4th rounder. He was picked at the beginning of the 5th round, but either way it goes, 5th round sounds even more amazing. And don't forget the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, 6th round pick. But one thing I like about Sam Howell is that he can make all the throws. I've heard some comps to Baker Mayfield. I can see the body. I can see the size of Baker, but Baker doesn't run like Sam Howell. I've seen somebody say Sam Howell has a stronger arm than Baker Mayfield, and I've seen other people say Baker Mayfield has a stronger arm than Sam Howell. I don't watch Baker Mayfield so much to even know it's Baker Mayfield. I've never been interested in watching Baker Mayfield. What do you guys think? But when you look at Sam Howell, right, he makes all the throws. He's very accurate. He throws a great deep ball. The only knock to Sam Howell's game right now, especially in this small sample size, is when he tries to do too much. He holds onto the ball. He's trying to scramble. He's trying to improvise. Sometimes that's going to work, and sometimes it's not. It's going to remind you of, not to be blasphemous because Brett Favre is Brett Favre, right? But Brett Favre had that magic of working around, moving around within the pocket, holding the ball, and then boom, letting it go, right? So there's that. Give me one moment, y'all. Let me go ahead and kick off this fantasy draft. Multitasking. I'm in multiple leagues this year. If I get any openings in any of my leagues, I'll definitely shoot out an invite to those who support me on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Without you guys, I won't have this YouTube channel, to be honest. And without the Commanders fans, who are the guys who helped me get monetized, I appreciate you guys and forever grateful for Commanders Nation. But back to Sam Howell. I'm loving the connection between Sam Howell and Jahan Dotson. Everybody, we all know Terry's the man, Terry's the leader, Terry's him, right? But it's something brewing that's special between Jahan Dotson and Sam Howell. And I'm telling you guys, if Terry does not play week 1, you could see a changing of the guard in terms of, man, Sam Howell is going to Jahan, or Sam Howell loves Jahan more than he loves Terry. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Hey, what's good? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Says Sam's arm is stronger. He's faster. He's quicker. He reminds me of a right-handed Steve Young. I love it. That's high praise. I love it. And last year or the last couple of years, we loved Taylor Heinicke because of some of the things that Taylor Heinicke could do. He was exciting. He had that moxie, which is something similar to what Sam has now. He has that energy. People love him. People gravitate towards him. And the fans love this guy. Like, we're cheering for him. I had a conversation with my uncle today. And he was telling me, he said, you know what? He's looking ahead to next year. He's saying, man, it would be awesome to win 4 or 5 games and draft a Caleb Williams. Now, there's nobody who's a bigger Caleb Williams fan than I am. But I will say this. I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment right now. I'm optimistic. I'm trying to see what happens with the Commanders this year, right? So I'm not necessarily looking at the situation saying, oh, Caleb Williams. I have to see if the team has potential. I have to see what Sam brings to the table. With all the talent we have on offense, with all the talent we have on defense, this team is primed for 7 wins. 7 wins does not get you Caleb Williams. 7 wins does not get you Drake May. And then you talk about Drake May, right? Sam Howell has done a lot of great things in North Carolina, similar to what has transpired, currently. So I look at it like this. So you have a guy who's set numbers, who's set records, who's done a lot of great things in North Carolina to go ahead and bring in a Drake May. Now, I'm not saying that Sam Howell is better than Drake May or Drake May is better than Sam. That's not what this argument is. But you got to see what you have in Sam Howell. You always see young QBs, right? The problem with young QBs is that these GMs in the NFL who are the pros, right? They never give these young quarterbacks talent. You have Jahan Dotson, you have Terry McLaurin, two guys I feel could be Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers this season. Even with Sam Howell throwing the ball, and even knowing that these two guys are not going to get the volume to possibly be that each, but I believe that these two are going to be a great duo in this NFL. I think these guys are possibly a top 7 or top 10 duo in NFL, right? So you have the weapons, you have the running backs, you have the Brian Robinsons of the world, the Antonio Gibson, right? Tight end worries me. The O-line worries me, but to have these weapons in front of Sam and trying to improve the offensive line is very encouraging. Let me see what the shiny one said. It says, "It's me, Manny." OG Roger. What up, Roger? Hey, I was like, man, who is this guy? I can't even pronounce the name, but what's good, Roger, man? Good to see you. It says the way to pronounce a new name is Anunnaki. Okay, because you notice I didn't even try to pronounce the name. I said, I can't. What is this, Spanish? What is this, Japanese? Look, but appreciate you teaching me how to pronounce a new name. Good to see you. It says Asian Samurai Creator, guys. Good stuff, man. Good to see you, OG. Good to see you, man. But back to what I was saying. We got to see what we have in Sam. And I think that Sam has all the tools to be the next franchise quarterback for the Commanders. Now, it might not work. Look, what I'm saying is if you got a chance to draft Caleb Williams, you go ahead and you draft your Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is that guy. You know what I'm saying? But with the same token, the same breath, I will not be upset. I will not be upset if Sam Howell is that guy. And if he's that guy, what that's going to tell me is that you have another year of a starting QB consistency. Just imagine giving Sam Howell another year after this season if he plays well. And then you have Sam Howell 2 years in a row. And then you're also maximizing that rookie contract of a Sam Howell. So if it works, if all goes well, you're going to have an Eric Bieniemy who you'll have a decision to make. If everything goes well, let's say they win 10 games and they win a playoff game. That's major success because a lot of people are looking at this team like they're not good. They're not going to amount to nothing. I'm looking at mock drafts for next year, and everybody has the Commanders drafting between pick 7 and pick 12, which means that you're going to be bad, which means that you might not be one of the worst teams, but you're going to be in that range of picking in the top 10. Picking in the top 10 does not necessarily guarantee you that opportunity to draft a top 2, top 3 QB. So don't want to look too much into next season, but let's see if Sam Howell can be the guy. I think he has the potential to be the guy. I think he's surrounded with weapons. What scares me is the offensive line, tight end help, and as well as running back help. Receivers is where I think we make our money. Curtis Samuel, he's primed for a good season. I think he has a solid season. De'Ami Brown is a name that I'm definitely looking at, and he's definitely a guy that I feel like could do some damage this year. So I'm definitely watching De'Ami Brown carefully, especially if a guy like Terry ends up being out. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to give you guys some more updates on what's going on. OG says, that's the same comment. My bad, same comment. But I'm looking forward to the season. Linebacker still scares me. I don't know about you guys. The linebacking group scares me. Barton, and I've not heard much of Jamin Davis this year. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. Nobody's talking about Jamin Davis, but his family. So hopefully we see some kind of improvement. But at the end of the day, We're going to run with 5 defensive backs at all times. We got defensive backs out this world, which is crazy to me. Timeout Sports, what's good, my brother? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Yeah, we got defensive backs out this world. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We're going to run a lot of 5-2. I mean, a lot of 4-1-5 type stuff where you have 5 defensive backs out there. A lot. Sometimes you might see 6 defensive backs. It's just what Ron Rivera wants to do. And if you look at how Ron Rivera, is structured, it's just like he's stuck in his ways. He's stuck in his ways. And the thing about Ron Rivera is, even if the team does well and it's because of the offense, guess what? The enemy might get that head coaching job and Ron Rivera is gone, because you need that guy that can take it to that next level. And I'm not sure that Ron Rivera is that guy. Says Kalik should start in front of Jamin. Look, at this point, man, I'm all about results, man. I'm not about draft capital. This guy was drafted here. This guy was drafted there. If Kalik has outplayed Jamin Davis, because I have not zoned in on the defensive side of the ball in preseason. I'm not going to lie to you. I've looked at certain parts of the game, certain things, but I haven't really just zoned in on that linebacking group because it's not fun. It's not interesting to me. Timeout Sports says over under 7.5 sacks for Chase Young. If he is good, our defense could be top 3. I'm going to go with the over 7.5 sacks. I think that Chase Young needs 7.5 sacks to stay relevant with the Commanders. Like, he might add some pressures. He might do some different things. And then, we have guys in the middle that kind of gobble up sacks, or let's say he's, chasing the guy, almost getting the sack, and then he's splitting sacks, or he needs 7.5 sacks. And I want him to have over 7.5 sacks. I think that's the number. If we're going to put a number on Chase Young and say, you need this in order to get this X amount of money or to get this X amount of whatever the case may be, I'm going to take the over 7.5 sacks for Chase Young. I think he has a breakout season. I think Montez Sweat has a breakout season. We're going to have a tough decision. I think this is a year where we're going to have 4 guys with over 7 sacks apiece. Now, to say 4 guys in double digits, it can be done. The Eagles did it last year or the year before. I can't remember. Man, the Eagles' defensive line is nasty. I was talking to my uncle today, and he was like, man, he doesn't even want to watch that Eagles versus Commanders game. But at the end of the day, I mean, the Eagles' defensive line could be good. Our defensive line is good. So we just got to just put it all together. And I don't think that this Washington defensive front have put it all together, except for that 1 year, which is that Chase Young rookie season. Ever since then, we've never really seen these 4 guys really come together and gel, being fully healthy. Now, we know that Chase Young is coming off of that stinger. Hopefully, he comes back and he's ready to rock. So, man, I am excited for this season. Now, one thing I do want to look at is the roster. I'm going to pull up the roster, and we're going to look at what the Commanders could potentially do on that depth chart. Like, we can talk, wide receivers. We can talk defensive line. It's almost time for roster cuts. Jacoby Brissett is going to be starting on Saturday. Saturday for that game versus Cincinnati. And Ron Rivera said that they're going to play some of the skill position guys. And when I hear skill position guys, I'm thinking O-lineman. I'm thinking maybe tight end. I'm thinking maybe a running back or 2. I mean, why not give those guys all the reps? We're not a team that's like Kansas City, who we look at ourselves and say, oh, man, we're so good. We don't need reps. No, this team needs as many reps as possible. Thomas says, would you sit Terry week 1? Honestly, I would sit Terry week 1. We're playing a depleted Cardinals team. Now, you don't take no team for granted, right? Any team can beat any team. Like, we've done nothing to be in the echelon of teams that rest people. But I would say give Terry McLaurin all the time he needs. Devontae Adams had a similar injury, and this guy was in and out of the lineup the entire season, and it was stressful, both for fantasy managers and both for Green Bay Packers fans. So, yes, I would definitely sit Terry week 1. Let me get fully healthy. If he's not fully healthy, this is going to linger. I would even sit Terry week 2. Just so that way when he comes in, he's good to go, and he can potentially play out the rest of the season. And he's been fairly healthy. He doesn't really miss games. That's one thing I commend Terry for. He's a hard worker. He works on his body. He does things in order to put himself in position to win. There are times when he plays these games hurt, but he still comes out there and plays pretty well. Dave Robb says, sorry, I had to pause so I could feed my daughter. I'm back now. All good, man. I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me. OG says, Andre Jones Jr. is our best rusher of the QB. Everyone will find out soon. You heard it here first. Andre Jones Jr. has looked amazing. He's looked amazing, and he's a guy that could potentially take one of these spots if Chase Young or Montez Sweat don't return. But then we have that KJ Henry guy who went higher than Andre Jones, but he hasn't flashed yet. He hasn't. I mean, Andre Jones Jr. looks spectacular, and there's a guy that you grabbed in the 7th round. So sometimes it's good to just grab these players and just put them out there in the field and kind of see what you get. I think that Andre Jones Jr. has a great year this season, and I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all, and I cannot wait. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through the depth chart rather quickly. I want to see what we do with this depth chart. So obviously, Sam Howell has won the QB job, and I'm glad that Ron Rivera let everybody know early rather than later, and in that confidence that you, like when you tell Sam Howell, man, you are our quarterback this year, you give him that confidence to say, you know what, let me go out here and just play football. I'm not worried about trying to make the team or trying to do this. He literally went out there and he won the competition. It wasn't one of those things where, was it given to him? Are they trying to see what they have in Sam? It wasn't any of that. He legit earned that spot, and it's his. Now, if they start to lose, do you think they go to Jacoby Brissett? I don't think so. I mean, you just got to rock it out with Sam Howell. If you're losing, why not just keep losing, right? And you put yourself in position to draft the QB next year. Now, we all know that Ron Rivera's job is on the line, so we don't know what kind of leash he's going to have on Sam Howell. Jake Fromm, he's probably going to stick around. They may or may not keep that third QB, but the way this team has been set up with injuries, who knows? Even if Jake Fromm doesn't make the team, he might be on the practice squad just to kind of get that extra player. And then now you have that whole emergency QB thing where the emergency QB doesn't dress, but then it doesn't count towards your, like your activation roster, but then they can come in and play if your first two QBs get hurt. So we're seeing that having that third QB helps. Even if he's not the best QB, he knows the system and he can just go in there and play that spot. I remember a few years ago when the Denver Broncos had to play a game without a quarterback. And they had a wide receiver in as their emergency QB, and it was a hot mess. They ran a lot of screens. They ran a lot of QB sneaks, wildcats, and things of that nature. And it was an ugly game to watch. Brian Robinson Jr., a year removed from being shot in the leg. I think this guy comes out, plays ball. He's going to be a bruiser, and he has something to prove. He's heard all the chit chatter. He's heard it's just a great story. He's going off that and this and that. He's going to have a full training camp. He's fully healthy coming into the season. This is a guy that's catching more passes. I'm excited. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Brian Robinson Jr. He's showing that he's capable of catching passes. And I love that because when he's in the game, you don't know if they're going to run or pass the ball. So keep that energy coming. Brian Robinson Jr., go grab him in your fantasy drafts. He's going cheap. I just grabbed him in one of my drafts, and you guys should too. Antonio Gibson, contract year. He should, if they use this guy correctly, he should be all over the field, lining up in the slot, wheel routes, all kinds of stuff. But then the talks of camp has been Chris Rodriguez Jr. or Jared Patterson. Jared Patterson, the undrafted guy, the DMV guy, everybody loves him. Can he knock out Christian Rodriguez to where Rodriguez goes to the practice squad? Nobody knows. But at the same time, Rodriguez was hand selected by Eric Bieniemy, but at the end of the day, look, it was a 6th round pick. 6th round pick undrafted. There's not too much of a difference there, to be honest, between a 6th rounder and an 8th rounder. There's no difference there. Okay, Both guys are late round type guys that could emerge into something. But I think that Jared Patterson has played his way into this roster. If they end up keeping 4 running backs, Jonathan Williams is the guy to go. You have everything you need out of Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Rodriguez, and Jared Patterson. Those will be the 4 that I rock with. Now, I told you guys early on in the stream, keep an eye out on Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown. I know we've said this every year up until now, right? But this could be the year. I mean, playing with Sam Howell. I'm not a betting man, but if I'm a betting man, I would bet that Dyami Brown has a career high this year. Granted, he has not done much, right? So for Dyami Brown, even if he gets 400 yards receiving this year, let's just look at Dyami Brown for a second before I talk too loud. So let's look at his stats. Let's look at what he's done through the course of his career. He's done nothing, like I said. He's never had more than 165 yards receiving. This year, he can easily get up to 400 yards. If he gets up to 400 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, that is a successful season for Dyami Brown, being our number 3, maybe number 4 wide receiver. So that's definitely feasible for a guy like Dyami Brown. Entering year 3, 6 foot tall, 195 pounds. He plays like he's bigger than 195 pounds. That touchdown was amazing. And this is a guy that was drafted in a top 85. So he has some potential to him, and I'm excited for him. I mean, I am excited for Dyami Brown. He's the guy to keep an eye on if Terry is out. I think if Terry is out, he's going to be a guy that does a lot of the things that Terry does. You'll see more Dyami than you would Curtis Samuel. That's just my prediction. Of course, Jahan Dotson will be that guy. Then, of course, you have Curtis in the slot, but you have Dyami Brown outside. So those are our top 4 wide receivers. The next 2 guys to fill, I think that Dax Mill is gone. Byron Pringle, who knows? If it's up to me, I'm going Casimir Allen and definitely Mitchell Tinsley. But you never know what the coaching staff decides to do. And if Terry starts out the year being hurt, do you keep 7 wide receivers, and especially 1 playing special teams? So those are some of the things to look at as they start to make some roster cuts. Alex Armand, fullback. Does he make the roster? I don't know. Are we going to incorporate the fullback? I mean, I really don't know. When it comes to the tight end room, you have Logan Thomas, John Bates, Cole Turner. The only guy I trust out of this bunch, including Curtis Hodges, is Cole Turner. I think that Cole Turner has all the tools to be a tight end 1. People say, well, what about his blocking? That will come with time. The tight end is a tough position to learn, and you're going to see a gradual leap for Cole Turner, if healthy, from this year heading into next year. By next year, he's the undisputed tight end 1. He's the undisputed tight end 1. Unless the Commanders magically draft a Brock Bowers next year, Cole Turner is that guy. And remember the trade back. When we traded back from 11 to 16, we were able to draft Jahan Dotson. We were able to grab Brian Robinson Jr., Cole Turner, and it was one more guy, Sam Howell. Sam Howell, the most important of all. So if Sam Howell ends up becoming a franchise quarterback, that could be the greatest trade back in NFL history, to where you trade back a few spots and you gain your franchise QB, which is the most important position. Then you gain another receiver in Jahan Dotson, who is going to be mirrored to Olave for the rest of their lives. Who's better, Olave, Dotson, Olave? Doesn't really matter. These are 2 young wide receivers, up and coming superstars, guys that could take it to that next level. Now, here's what scares me about this team. When you look at the offensive line, it is disgusting to even name. I'm sorry. They got some nastiness to them, but I'm almost pretty much done with Charles Leno. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys feel about Charles Leno. I mean, I don't see it, man. Charles Leno, Sadiq Charles, can you stay healthy? Can Chris Paul come out and outplay Sadiq Charles? Like, I'm almost done with the Sadiq Charles, whatever you want to call it, project, experiment, whatever it is. It's just not working. Nick Gates got some nastiness to him. I like him as a center. Samuel Cosme, I do like him. Andrew Wiley, just because he knows the system, the enemy, champion, all that good stuff, he needs to hold it down. It's just that left side that scares me. Chris Paul is the backup. Cornelius Lucas is the backup. You have Tyler Larson out here. Ricky Stormberg. Can he beat out Tyler Larson? Then you have Trent Scott. You have all these different guys. You have Braden Daniels, who they drafted, who they like. So I don't know. I think we keep about 9 offensive linemen. It would be ideal to keep 10, but I think 9. And we just need an upgrade, man. Hopefully this is the last year for Charles Leno. He's a good guy, good human, but good humans and good guys don't necessarily win you football games either. So we just need some guys. We need some dogs. I need my left tackle to have a little bit more nastiness out of him, a little bit more athleticism. So maybe next year they address this LT and LG spot, especially if Sadiq Charles can't get it together, if he's not the guy. I mean, he's the guy that we've invested in. What is this, year 4 for Sadiq Charles? Is now or never. And then Chris Paul, the 7th rounder, who we drafted. Maybe one of these guys step in. I really don't know, man. It's like when you lose a Wes Schweitzer and you're looking at this offensive line, it's like, can they hold up? I mean, we got rid of the old geezers. I'm not going to mention their names last year that were, tearing down the team. Now you add some nastiness to it. They did try to rebuild this offensive line, bring him back. I think the only starter is Sadiq Charles and possibly Samuel Cosmi. But one thing I do love is Samuel Cosmi playing the right guard rather than him playing the right tackle. So we'll see how that translates. Obviously, the all-star first rounders, I'm sick and tired of hearing about the first rounders, all defensive line team, right? Hopefully that Chase Young and Montez Sweat battle it out for that contract and possibly have their best seasons as Commanders. If they do that, like Tom Osborne said earlier, top 3 defense, especially if Chase Young gets over 7.5 sacks. Casey Toole for Darian Mathis. Hopefully he's healthy this year. Like, we got to see something out of you. John Ridgeway, I love him. James Smith-Williams, KJ Henry, who we've heard not much from. William Bradley King, this could be his last year on the team. He possibly goes to the practice squad. Andre Jones Jr., who we love, he's definitely making the team for sure. F.A. Obata, and then there was another Obata that got hurt. I don't know if it was F.A. Obata or the other one, but either way, one of those guys got hurt. It might have been the other one. And that's a big loss. He was part of this defensive line, especially when Chase was gone. Now, I'm looking at David Mayo here, and I'm thinking that this is an error, it's a typo. I do not want to see a team that has David Mayo or Bostic on the squad. I'm just sick and tired of both players. I don't ever want to see those guys on my Commanders. Cody Barton has a lot to prove. You lose a Cole Holcomb, you bring in another Cole Holcomb 2.0. That is what you're going to get out of Cody Barton. He is another Cole Holcomb, to be honest. Cameron Curl, we love him. Derek Forrest, Emmanuel Forbes, who can play. This guy can play some serious football. I called him out about his tackling, and then he showed me. Kendall Fuller, hopefully he gets back fully healthy. Danny Johnson may make the team. He's a guy that the coaching staff loves. Jeremy Reeves is making the team. Quan Martin is making the team. Benjamin St. Juste, obviously. I am for the first time. Oh, Percy Butler's here. Wild Goose, Christian Holmes. A lot of guys that are trying to make names for themselves, but I don't know how many defensive backs we're going to keep as a whole. I mean, it could be 8, it could be 9, because that's the heart and the meat of this defense. Since they don't obviously care about the linebacking core, why not go ahead and keep eight defensive backs, right? Dave says, David got hurt. Yeah, David Bada. Yeah, not F. You're right. David Bada and then F. Obata. Yeah, you're right. I just call them the Bada brothers, man. Yes, you are absolutely right. Appreciate you for that. I think I got one more thing to cover. So we brought in Michael Badgley to compete with Joey Sly, and I was thinking that Badgley's more accurate than Joey Sly, but they tell me that Badgley cannot kick off. His kickoff game is weak. He doesn't have the leg power, and that's why Joey Sly won the job. Hopefully he's more consistent this year. He does have a big leg. He will give you those 50-yard field goals. Tress Way is the only way. The man, the myth, the legend. Get Dax Mills off this team. I'm sick and tired of seeing him as a punt returner. Kickoff returner, I don't mind keeping Antonio Gibson there, but we just need more out of the special teams. Can we get some special into the special teams? I'm sick and tired of not having this special team special. All right, guys, this is your boy Manny. Appreciate you guys watching the stream. The Commanders got me hyped this season. I'll be coming on more regularly. I'll be coming on before and after games and definitely doing my fantasy stuff. So I'm going to catch you guys on that next stream. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the support. If you guys are interested in being channel members, please click the button to join. And there's different perks that I do have for my channel members, including, collabing with me, a 24/7 chat as well. I'm going to catch you guys on that next stream. I'm out. Peace.